Hey, Lashy Lawrence McElroy here with a pre-recorded video that's going to be a little bit different than the last little series that we did. This is just a one-off. I'm going to step back. So, a lot of people currently, because of social distancing right now, are not able to take advantage of their gym memberships. So, they may be looking for ways to do some resistance training at home. And I thought I would point in that direction today. We're not going to do a workout, but I'm going to talk about some of the bare necessities to be able to get a relatively decent, or actually pretty decent, resistance workout at home. We'll talk about those components and modifications to help for those who may just be starting on the road to fitness. Now, I'm going to start with pull-ups. Now, we have a pull-up bar in our home gym. It's permanently attached. Not a lot of people have access to a permanently attached pull-up bar in their house. But in this time of home delivery, you can probably find a decent door frame installed pull-up bar that you can probably have in a short amount of time in your house. Just make sure your door frame pull-up bar is securely fastened before you do your workout. And if you leave it in the door frame, always check it before you do your next workout. Now, pull-ups are tough. So, just FYI, there are a lot of different hand positions you can do. Standard pull-up, chin up, close grip, wide. There are other variations. You can do a switch grip. I'm just going to first demonstrate a basic pull-up. So, not collapsing in my shoulders. The pelvic tuck, I'm hanging, not kipping, and chin up over the bar, and chin up over the bar. Ideally, you really do want that full range of motion. But that's not possible for a lot of people, especially to start with. So there are a couple of support items that you can use. One, pretty sure everybody has a chair in their house. Careful with the chair. You want to make sure that you're pressing down, not out. The closer the chair is to you, the more underneath, the more support you have. So, I'm just going to stay with the standard pull-up. See, the chair is right underneath me. Now, I can also sort of modify the amount of assistance my leg is giving me. But you want to press down, not up. Leave as much activation in the shoulders, the back, and the arms as you can. The farther away the chair is from being underneath of you, still want to be able to press down, the less support you will have as you do your pull-up. Still seeking as much as possible to get a full range of motion. The other thing that you can also find in the online shopping environment is what's known as a pull-up assist. Has a hook that goes over the bar, a stirrup for one foot, and resistance bands. Now, whenever you use resistance band equipment, you always want to make sure that the connection points are strong and the bands are in good shape. Put the hook over the top of the bar. By the way, it's adjustable, so the more distance I have between the hook and the stirrup, the less support I have. The shorter the distance between the hook and the stirrup, the more support I have. The foot goes in the stirrup. Again, if I can, I do the full range of motion, all the way up, all the way down. Now, for many of us, when we first start doing pull-ups, not only might we need help, but we may not get that full range of motion. In other words, you might stop halfway, not quite get the chin over the bar. That's fine. This is where we start. Most of the people who will ask you if you're doing full range pull-ups or, oh, you have your foot on the chair, that's not really a pull-up, are probably people who aren't doing any type of pull-up. So they're pull-ups. We're going to come back to those toward the end of this little presentation. We're going to move on to the other thing that really just involves your body and gravity. and that's push-ups. Again, there can be modifications in your push-ups. You know, a standard push-up, you have your position, pelvic bowl is tucked, chin's not down, not up. You have that nice, big, full range of motion. Now, the first modification is just don't go as deep. Do halves. The next is simply dropping the knees. So there's a little less body weight in your push-up. The next thing you can do is, instead of on the ground or on the ground with your knees down, is do an incline push-up. I need to use 2 chairs to get my hands spaced properly. You want to make sure your chairs, your bench aren't going anywhere. If you have a broad staircase, or a staircase that's at least broad enough to do some variety in your push-ups, use the staircase. You can start to modify by the number of stairs you have between your hands and your feet. Again, basic standard push-up. Now I can have my sort of plank-like position and do my push-up. A lot less intense here, but again, you may find as you start just a half or a third or a quarter range. The other thing to keep in mind with push-ups is that can be tweaky on people's wrists. They don't work on their wrist flexibility. And that's fine. But 1, spend some time with some wrist flexibility. Or 2, what you can use are pull-up bars. Again, all sorts of variety in the world of pull-up bars. Find something that works for you. You want to make sure when you're using a pull-up bar that you're not putting the pressure in the tiger's mouth. That's what we refer to in the Chinese martial arts, is that opening between the thumb and the index finger. You want to make sure that the pressure is still going into the palm of the hand. This is going to have more of an angle on it than you can without the bars. And that gives you not only a little less pressure on your wrists, but it can also increase your range of motion. Be careful. If you drop too far for your range of motion, you can create an injury in your shoulders and your upper back. So there are the 2 basic exercises where all you really need is gravity and body weight. The other piece of equipment that, again, isn't too much of an expense is resistance bands. And you don't necessarily need a big range of different intensities of resistance bands. Now, once again, you want to check out resistance band, make sure it's secure, in place, and in good shape. And this can offer you a lot of variation in standard resistance weight training exercises without having to buy free weights or have access to a weight machine. So, you know, a basic curl, and this band's a little bit light for me. So what I might do, separate my feet more, and now I have a little bit more resistance. But you can also do shoulder exercise, you can do presses. You can do, I'm going to create a little loop here, put my foot in the loop. Again, that creates more tension. I can do tricep extensions. So you can really find some variety of standard weight training exercises that can be done with exercise bands. You know what else can be done with an exercise band? Pull-ups. No need for a chair, no need for a pull-up assist, but you will need way to secure it to something. There are different devices that are made for that. It's a pretty good one. Has a little catch. You drop it over the top of the door. When you shut the door, pull to make sure it's secure. It pulls up against the door and holds there. You have this stirrup through which you thread the resistance band, and you're good to go. Don't have a door handy. So oddly enough, I don't know if ironically is the right word at this point, I'm going to use my pull-up bar to demonstrate how to do pull-ups without a pull-up bar. So you want to make sure that as you're down, you're not pulling into the chest and maintaining that crown point of the head up to the heavens or anything like that. You want your torso to be at the same angle as your resistance bands. I'm going to move back a little bit. And also, with resistance bands, both in the standard weight training exercises and in pull-ups, you want a little isometric hold at the end. So you can do as many switches. There is standard pull-up. Here's a chin-up. You can do a wide. You want to keep them wide. If you go wide, you can do close grip. All the different variations in pull-ups are available to you, even without a pull-up bar, if you have resistance bands. So there you have it. Body, earth, weight, and gravity. Maybe a little bit of rubber to up your weight training game while we're home isolating. So there you go. There it is. As is always the case, if you have a question, an observation, feel free to share them in the comments below. For now, Laushi Lawrence McElroy, Water Tiger School, signing off.